I've worked with Rajkumar also. I've done 3 projects with him. Me and Raj also don't really vibe. We're friendly, but we don't really sit and chat. Rather work with people who are there with the scene and their character than actually go there and have a good time and hang out with them and get to know them and make like famous friends or something. I don't care about that. झूठ तो ये है कि nepotism is a big problem. वो तो बिल्कुल बकवास है. ऐसा इतना बड़ा problem नहीं है. There are lots of other grave problems. Like there is this imaginary class system. वो तो है ही अपने पूरे सोसाइटी में ही है वो तो. Come to some experience about other film industries जो अन्य भाषाओं के है उनकी तुलना में the Hindi film industry is the most democratic.
For all film-related interviews, reviews, and content, please like and subscribe to Pooja Talwar. You can also follow me on Twitter and on Instagram.
मुझे एक बात बताओ, ये सुपर गुल्लू नाम कैसे आया? I'm most intrigued by your thing with Super Gullu.
Super Gullu is the name of my spirit. This name was given to me by a sort of student of mine. वो directly student नहीं था वो. मैं एक जगह पढ़ाता था विगनली कॉलेज. मैं वो फैशन डिपार्टमेंट में पढ़ाता था, लेकिन मैं ग्राफिक डिजाइन डिपार्टमेंट्स का ग्रेड्स करता था और उनका प्रेजेंटेशंस भी लेता था मैं. तो उसमें एक स्टूडेंट था अनीस. तो कभी कुछ मैंने किसी को मैं कुछ हेल्प कर रहा था तो मैंने ऐसे कुछ समथिंग आई डिड एंड देन ही वाज क्वाइट इम्प्रेस्ड एंड उसने कहा सुपर गुल्लू कुछ भी कर लेते हो तुम. तो ऐसा कुछ तो था. तो आई रियली लाइक दैट नेम. तो फिर वो मेरा ईमेल एड्रेस बना पहले. आई थिंक वो rediff.com का कुछ तो था ईमेल एड्रेस बना. Then it's like sort of my alter ego, and like if I have to name my spirit, so I think I would call it Super Gullu. अंदर की जो स्पिरिट होती है हमारी वो है
सुपर गुल्लू ही हो. एक बात बताओ, कितने उलझे हुए हो, कितने उलझ में उलझे हुए हो?
उलझा हुआ हूँ मैं, लेकिन बहुत सारी उलझने मेरे दिमाग में है अननेसेसरीली. ऐसे कुछ बना लिया मैंने. मैं ओवरवेल्म हो जाता हूँ चीजों को लेके, बहुत सारी चीजें. फिर वो प्रोक्रास्टिनेट करने लगता हूँ, फिर वो प्रेशर बढ़ने लगता है, तो फिर मैं उलझ जाता हूँ मैं. ये थोड़ा प्रॉब्लम है.
मेरा वो कुंभ के मेले में बिछड़ा हुआ भाई, वो आई एम द सेम पर्सन.
A lot of us are like that, no? I think we have like I know a lot of anxiety. I get very anxious with things and very overwhelmed by them. So then I I try and avoid those tasks. Like for example, moving into my new apartment. अभी 2 महीने से रह रहा हूँ, पूरा हुआ ही नहीं है. कभी बहुत सारी चीजें करना बाकी है, तो I get overwhelmed by it. But ऐसा पहले से था थोड़ा ऐसा. I used to get overwhelmed, लेकिन वो तब ऑप्शन नहीं था, करना ही पड़ता था. लेकिन अब ऑप्शन है टू सॉर्ट ऑफ बी लेजी.
Absolutely, and congratulations, because they say अगर अपार्टमेंट और नई गाड़ी आती है, that means it's all doing good.
I don't consider these things as a sense of achievement. I don't. I think I would like to have higher pursuits. I mean, it's nice. These are conveniences in life. Yeah. But I don't consider them to be ऐसे पड़ाव जो बहुत important है कि comforts को तो होना तो है. If you can afford comforts, if you can make your life a little comfortable, then that's very good. बहुत ज़्यादा comfortable नहीं होना चाहिए. So I don't value if somebody said that congratulations मुझे गाड़ी ली मैंने, तो ऐसे हाँ मिठाई मिठाई, तो I'm like I don't even think like मैं क्यों वांटू मिठाई, मैंने अपने कन्वीनियंस के लिए गाड़ी ली है.
नहीं, घर का हाउस वार्मिंग पार्टी नहीं होगी. सुन लो आप लोग सुपर गुल्लू के
ऐसा कुछ नहीं वो तो नहीं होगा.
But coming to like one thing I must tell you, I've said that in the past also. I love your honesty. I mean,
yeah. Oh, by the way, it's a rented apartment, so that now I get it. Okay, it's a rented apartment. I've moved into an apartment where it's right next to the beach, और पूरा घर गीला रहता है. मैं पछता रहा हूँ. It's like 30 meters from me is the sea, Arabian Sea, और वर्सोवा पे तो पूरा पानी बारिश के मौसम में तो पूछो.
कोई लोग नहीं बताते ये सब बड़ी honestly. But coming to you, I love your candid honesty, and what actually struck me was you don't pander to all this. I like the fact that you said that Janhvi was my co-star and we did not vibe. I mean, usually people say it was so lovely working. Do you feel we put a lot of pressure on us just to?
No, but it was lovely working. No, it was lovely working because see, what is lovely working? What is the experience of working somebody? Is that you enjoyed the work.
Yeah.
Not the other things outside. It's not important for 2 people or 5 people to get along fabulously and be friends with each other for them to be able to do their work. as long as like you are able to, like, you know, we hear so many stories about like the Indian cricket team also and how two players don't get along, but when they play for the country, they put their differences aside and play for the country, because that is what we expect out of them. So in a professional environment, it's not really important for anybody to vibe, and it's not really Janhvi's fault or my fault or anybody. हमारी responsibility नहीं होती है कि ये, लेकिन एक professional environment में रहना हमारी responsibility होती है, उसमें कोई कमी नहीं है. सीन में जब काम कर रहे हैं, यू हैव टू बी विद द सीन, यू हैव टू स्टे विद द कैरेक्टर. दैट इज आवर रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी एंड दैट इज व्हाट प्रोफेशनल एक्टर्स डू. और वो मैं वही बता रहा हूँ कि गाना देख लो, कि आपको कहीं लगता है कि हम में मतलब वाइब ना होते हुए भी कैसे हुआ वो. Like I have worked with Rajkumar also. I've done 3 projects with him. Me and Raj also don't really vibe. We're friendly, but we don't really sit and chat. But that never really gets in the way of the work. Why? Because we're professional actors, because that's our bloody job.
Exactly, because you know what I like about the fact is everyone acts as if, oh, now we are best friends. Oh, he's on my. One young actor, I remember telling me, so and so is on my speed dial. After a year, he changed. He said, Bollywood में कोई दोस्त नहीं होता है.
I don't want to comment on that. कि वो अपना अपना देख ले.
Yeah, सही.
I'm not going to say होगा उनका, मुझे क्या पता.
नहीं, but he turned around and said, there's nobody a friend, because after the film finished, the person was no longer available.
But this is one person, na? Like that doesn't mean everybody.
Exactly. I mean, what I like was
sample size क्या है आपका?
No,
sample size क्या है आपका? 1%.
No, I meant that you don't have to break bread with people. Like,
No,
everyone's
no.
not a friend. They're acquaintances, they're working colleagues. I liked that thing because हमारी सोसाइटी में ये तेरा दोस्त आ गया. अरे दोस्त का definition क्या है? And I kind of found that difference.
Yeah, and sometimes I get along fabulously with people, but then sometimes working in the scene becomes difficult. I've had those experiences also, because they just focus on so many other things but the scene. So I'd rather work with people who are there with the scene and their character than actually go there and have a good time and hang out with them and get to know them and make like famous friends or something. I don't care about that.
Coming to Ulaj, I have been seeing that lately your filmography is diverse. It is interesting. You know, we last met for Guns and Gulab. Briefly.
Yeah.
Just met briefly for that. And Beach Mein, you also did that show as well, you know, the remake of the Korean hit on Z. It's really nice. What is the first thing that gets you when you get, say, somebody approaches you for a role? What is the first thing that is like?
I look at the part. What are they offered? वो लोग बताते ना ये character. So when I get the script or when I get a narration or sometimes they send you the whole docket. So then I look at the part and I want to have a genuine point of interest with that. I don't have to necessarily connect with it. That's not important, but it has to be interesting to me. So, and then once that is there, then I go into the story level. So then what is the story? How is this character, like, you know, maneuvering through the whatever happens to the story, all of those things. And then is this good for my career? I look at those aspects also. So these two are like non-negotiables for me. So once these parameters are met, then वो आगे बढ़ते हैं.
But good for my career is also very subjective, ना? तो आपको
It is
शायद
subjective.
ठीक लगे. But the other person might think that, boss, ये मत कर, वो कर.
Everything is subjective. Everything is subjective. I am open to negotiations, and sometimes I get it. Everybody gets it wrong. I'm not saying that I'm, you know, I take the responsibility of curating my career. So I want the satisfaction of making the decisions also myself, which also means that I have to accept the fact that I get it wrong also sometimes. And I do seek advice. Sometimes when I'm genuinely convinced, I seek advice.
ऐसे कभी लगा था कि my God, I really shouldn't have done this after you'd like signed it and there was no way out?
Well, rarely, as in like sometimes you like while doing it, you're like, oh, it's not really what I thought or what it was made out to be. This is a little different. But then since we were talking about professional actors, once you sign up for something, you have to follow through. So then you're like, okay, fine. And also, like, I don't want to unnecessarily suffer in my imagination also, but वो हो रहा है वैसे भी. लेकिन ये काम को लेके मैं थोड़ा क्लैरिटी ज्यादा है मेरे अंदर, तो बाकी चीजों को लेके इतनी क्लैरिटी नहीं है, लेकिन काम को लेके बहुत क्लैरिटी है. So I mean there is nothing like, you know, एक फिल्म से करियर डिस्ट्रॉय हो गया ऐसा सब कुछ नहीं है. सब भूल जाते हैं लोग. भूल जाते हैं. Like if you do a bad work, like I've had Rahul Desai also say career suicide after he saw a film of mine which he didn't like, and I agree with him, not on the career suicide, that it was a bad film. So it didn't turn out. And वो करते हुए ही पता चल गया था कि हाँ ये इतना अच्छा नहीं होगा. But then you have to follow through. But my career didn't commit suicide. So it's still there. So I'm not going to take this. I mean, I'm not blaming Rahul Desai at all. No, Rahul, I have nothing against you for saying such things. You should feel free to sort of express yourself. But I'm just saying that I'm not going to dwell on that and think that अरे एक खराब फिल्म कर ली तो ये है. A collection of खराब फिल्में नहीं करना चाहिए बस. वो थोड़ा मुश्किल हो जाता है फिर.
But it's really bizarre because how sometimes critics and audiences, just because, again, it's subjective. I might like you in a certain role, the other person just might think it's really terrible. I'm just giving you an example.
Yeah,
Personally, love Shyam Benegal's Trikal. It's my favorite film. And Shyamji himself told me that I think you're the only person who's watched that movie. He himself has told me. I think it's lovely, that movie. If it was to release today, people would say, Kya banaya hai, boss? But in 1985, many didn't even understand what that film was all about.
Yeah.
But sometimes does it weigh on you then other people are deciding to label you, and sometimes, and especially being in the public eye, where also in this industry, aapko kaise label karenge, that goes to the other door, then it's like the Chinese whispers.
Yeah. I mean, I do, to some extent it bothers me, and to some extent we can control it also with the kind of choices that we make. As you can see, if you just look at my work from 2011 to now, there is a certain diversity in terms of the type of projects, the roles and all that, sensibilities. I don't stick to one particular thing, but that takes time. So if I say somebody that I am capable of I'm a versatile actor, I'm capable of diverse roles, वो कोई क्यों मान ले? ये मैं 2011 में बोलता तो कोई क्यों मान ले? मुझे थोड़ा साबित करके दिखाना पड़ेगा. इस चीज के लिए पेशेंस की भी जरूरत है, थोड़ा वेट भी करना पड़ेगा. एंड समटाइम्स यू हैव टू ट्राई एंड अट्रैक्ट सम अपॉर्चुनिटीज आल्सो. अगर वो नहीं होता है तो थोड़ा वेट करना पड़ता है. यू हैव टू रियली लाइक वेट एंड फॉर द गुड अपॉर्चुनिटीज एंड देन गिव इट योर बेस्ट. तो it's taken me 13 years for people to sort of organically realize कि अच्छा ये सब भी कर सकता है. And I'm very happy that something like Bad Cop came to me, which is such a filmy sensibility. And like, I don't have that action sort of a thing कि हाँ इसकी ना bulging muscles है, body है. Usually action सोचते तो ऐसा ही है. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. In spite of that, I've done an action thing and it's entertaining and it's doing really well for them. So I'm also trying to also dispel all these myths that people have कि हम लोग बना लेते हैं कि अच्छा हीरो बनना है तो बॉडी होना चाहिए, मतलब डांस करना आना चाहिए. But that is then a particular trend, na? Then you're following a trend, like you're not bringing any unique perspective of yours. So, but these things take time. So that's what I'm interested in. I'm not interested so much. I'm happy if the result is very successful, but I can't be focused on results and what people are thinking. There's only that much I can do to control their perceptions. Beyond that, I shouldn't worry about it because हमारे हाथ से बाहर है वो. कितना कंट्रोल करेंगे? सब्जेक्टिव मीडियम है ये आर्ट्स, इसमें अलग अलग ओपिनियंस होंगे.
Absolutely. No, also what's interesting these days, what I'm seeing is, as you said now, the perception of the superstar, that's totally been upended because the recent successes of movies, they're not helmed by superstars. They're helmed by regular, normal people who have come here to act, may not have the social currency. It's no longer your social currency is directly proportional to your stardom or vice versa. So that's
I'm saying that's fine. Even if it's helmed by superstars also, it's fine. There is a
now as the film industry
that can be enjoyable. Yeah, I mean there is a lot of fun and enjoyment that sort of genre, those sort of movies also give. It's fine.
Not translating as at the end of the day, there's a box office, and now Bollywood is suddenly tightening its belts in the star entourage. Itna de diya, ek bande ke 15 log hote hain. It's suddenly they're recalibrating.
वो सिर्फ एक्टरों की गलती नहीं है मैम, ये सिर्फ एक्टरों की, ठीक है, दिस इज अ फेयर क्रिटिसिज्म ऑन सम एक्टर्स हु डिमांड लाइक 2 लाख का शेफ पर डे एंड थिंग्स लाइक दैट. इट्स अ फेयर क्रिटिसिज्म, बट इट्स नॉट एंटायरली द एक्टर्स फॉल्ट आल्सो. देयर आर ओनली सम एक्टर्स हु डू दैट एंड देयर आर अदर्स हु लर्न फ्रॉम दैट. कि आपको 2 लाख का शेफ नहीं मिलेगा लेकिन आपको 20,000 रुपए पर डे का शेफ चाहिए. तो देयर इज आल्सो दिस अ ट्रिकल डाउन प्रोसेस. दैट्स वेयर द प्रॉब्लम इज because we all follow trends. वही है ना कि अभी ऋतिक रोशन ने डांस कर लिया, बॉडी बना लिया, तो सब लोगों ने उसके बाद वो किया कि हीरो, हिंदी फिल्म में हीरो बनना है तो यही है. फिर वो बाकी इंडस्ट्रीज में भी बनाने लगे कि ये लोग बॉडी बना रहे हैं, हम लोग भी बनाएंगे. ये लोग डांस कर रहे हैं, हम लोग तेलुगु इंडस्ट्री में सारे हीरो अच्छे डांसर हैं, तो उनको लगे नॉर्म है कि सारों को, बट इट्स नॉट nobody even, because many people they fit into the trend but they lose their authenticity and their uniqueness in the process. So I feel that karo ye sab, but then don't completely transform you into something that you are not. Maybe your uniqueness is what will be interesting to people. फिर क्या होता है ना, then you have to maintain that thing who you aren't. तो public persona एक जैसा हो जाएगा, privately you are somebody else. Then you have to, every time you're in public you have to work tirelessly to maintain that image कि मैं ऐसे कपड़े नहीं पहन सकता, वैसे नहीं पहन सकता. So I am saying that I have freed myself from that thing. I'm not saying that this is the way to go, this is the only way. I'm like, I can't do all of those things and I don't want to lose my authenticity. So I'm going to free myself from all of these burdens. We'll see. देखेंगे लोगों को अच्छा लगेगा कि नहीं लगेगा.
No, but now whether it's Anurag whom you worked with, whether it's Karan Johar, they're all now saying there's too much of cost. They're trying to tighten budgets.
No, it is there, yeah.
All that much
But it's also, there are other places also. Sorry, मैं थोड़ा drift कर गया. Thank you for bringing me back. It is also the fault of a lot of the productions also. People splurged money. Because if somebody is asking for all of these things, why are you giving them? Because they could raise that kind of money and they had ways to sort of recover that money also. ठीक है, पहले तो सिर्फ बॉक्स ऑफिस पे चलती थी फिल्में, फिर बाद में there are other ways that IP can be monetized, intellectual property can be monetized. So if you own the IP, so there are other ways that they can recover the money. And many times if it's a big star, if it's a marquee star, the film is already sold before the territories are already sold, the satellite and OTT deals are already sold before you make the film. तो producer का पैसा उधर already recover हो गया if it's an expensive film. वो सब होता था. Now we are hitting a little bit of a rough patch when that's not being possible. So now obviously costs will come down. So if I also feel that I'm not really a thorough businessman, but I'm just saying, let's see how it goes. Ki if people were a little bit reasonable with budgets right from the beginning, I mean, making money is important, but there are other ways of making. If you let them have a profit sharing deal, if you let a lot of the other people also in other departments, all the HODs get a profit sharing deal, then you can make for less, but people are also invested more in such films themselves personally, so they will tend to do a better job and give a better quality of work, and also you can make things for reasonable budgets, so the people can reduce their base price and then see how you can earn income from residual income. It is a tough business. तो वो हो रहा है, तो दे रहा था इसीलिए तो मांग रहे थे लोग.
नहीं, you've seen the opulence of Bhansali, you've seen Vasant Bala's set, you've worked with Rajan DK, you've done Anurag Kashyap.
Bhansali ka opulence is most of the money goes into the film. It's not like really going to like cater to the stars and what they want or some other things. Like even a small matter like ठीक है ये ना यहाँ पे background पे ये ना कोई बात नहीं हम लोग post में देख लेंगे, which is also an additional cost, and I also see that happen a lot, which is also increasing the cost of certain films or projects.
Absolutely. But coming to the kind of narratives you're getting now, do you feel now you're a little spoiled for choice compared to say what?
No, I don't feel. See, with the OTT thing, there's more opportunities, definitely. It creates more opportunities for all of us, for directors to tell their story, for actors and technicians on all of those things. I don't know if I'm spoiled for choice. I never thought of it that way at all, and I don't think I'm spoiled for choice.
It's a tough one because there's so many talented people wanting just that much. It's like
there's only that much you can't be in everything. Many times I feel, oh, I wish I was in this project, I was in that project, but there's only that many projects you can do also. And I myself don't like to work all the time. So if that is my outlook towards my professional life, then how can I expect to be in everything that I see, that I find interesting? वो तो होगा नहीं. तो a little bit of jealousy will always be there, and it's good also. As long as it doesn't become poison in my veins and ruin my life, then it's okay.
हम लोग anxious people बहुत सोचते हैं, but as we wrap up, I want to say, जिंदगी की सबसे बड़ी उलझन क्या थी? This is like quick.
जिंदगी की सबसे बड़ी उलझन थी पहले की बड़े होने की उलझन थी. आई वाज सो मच, एक दौर था नहीं मैं बड़ा था कि मैं आई डिडंट वांट टू फेस, मैं इतना अपने इमेजिनेशन में अपनी ही दुनिया में था, तो रियल वर्ल्ड में आना ही नहीं था मुझे. और एक दौर आया जहां पे आपको लगने लगा कि अब तो ये सब पढ़ाई वढ़ाई कर लिया, तो अब तो रियल वर्ल्ड में जाना पड़ेगा गुरु, अब तो हो गया स्कूल कॉलेज, अभी आपको यू हैव टू टेक रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज, प्रोफेशनल रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज, पर्सनल रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज टुवर्ड्स द होम, टुवर्ड्स फैमिली, टुवर्ड्स सेल्फ भी है, वो बाद में समझ में आया। तो आई वॉज वेरी स्कैर्ड, तो वो बड़ी उलझन थी, लेकिन आजकल नहीं है, अभी तो नहीं है उलझन। वो अभी है थोड़ा सा मेरे ये ओवरवेल्ड हो जाता हूँ चीजों को लेके, एंजाइटी, इतनी बड़ी उलझन नहीं है।
सी फेसिंग हाउस मिल रहा है आपको, आप देखो
हाउ टू
बाहर।
कीप इट ड्राई, सी फेसिंग हाउस, तो उलझन यही है कि हाउ टू कीप इट ड्राई, कीप ऑल द विंडोज शट, स्टिल देयर इज प्रेसिपिटेशन, ऐसे पानी ऐसे फच फच करके जब चलते हैं तो खिड़की के पास, अरे बहुत, सी फेसिंग is a hoax, it's like, हाँ, it's cool and it's very like I love to hear the sound of the waves and all those things, बड़ी अच्छी नींद वींद आती है, लेकिन घर गीला होता है, सब कुछ, पर्दे गीले, फर्नीचर गीला, मैं लैंप्स, मेरा वो जो मेटल की चीजें रख ही नहीं सकता मैं, सब गीला गीला रहता है।
चलो, फिल्म इंडस्ट्री का सबसे बड़ा एक सच और एक झूठ, एज वी रैप अप।
फिल्म इंडस्ट्री सच, अरे बाप रे, झूठ तो ये कि नेपोटिज्म इज अ बिग प्रॉब्लम है, तो बिल्कुल बकवास है, ऐसा इतना बड़ा प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, देयर आर लॉट्स ऑफ अदर ग्रेव प्रॉब्लम्स, लाइक देयर इज दिस इमेजिनरी क्लास सिस्टम, वो तो है ही, अपने पूरे सोसाइटी में ही है वो तो, वो बहुत है। द एक और झूठ भी है, हिंदी फिल्म इंडस्ट्री इज द मोस्ट डेमोक्रेटिक अमंग ऑल द इंडस्ट्रीज, आई हैव सम एक्सपीरियंस वर्किंग, आई हैव कम टू सम एक्सपीरियंस अबाउट अदर फिल्म इंडस्ट्रीज जो अन्य भाषाओं के हैं, उनकी तुलना में द हिंदी फिल्म इंडस्ट्री इज द मोस्ट डेमोक्रेटिक। ये एक हाँ, लोगों को नहीं लगता है ऐसे, हाँ है, इट इज मोस्ट डेमोक्रेटिक इन द सेंस कि इतना जितना हम सोचते हैं पावर स्ट्रक्चर्स एक दूसरे को गिराने में लगे हैं, उतना है नहीं, and there is still, you can still
Everybody's
do
on a
your own
Bollywood
thing.
bashing scene.
There are more
Everybody's
of
on a...
there are no, I mean in some of the other industries it's a lot more difficult to break out and do your own thing without servicing the power structures. तो ये मेरा तजुर्बा है, don't take, it's not an expert opinion, to some extent it's educated opinion, but ऐसा मैंने देखा है, तो I'm sure a lot of other people also will agree with what I'm saying. और एक फिल्म इंडस्ट्री का सच क्या है यार, सच ही है, ग्लैमर वो है, सच है ग्लैमर तो है
वो तो है अभी सुपर गुल्लू, we see you also dress very naturally on the red carpet now.
हाँ, मुझे मजा आता है, रेड कार्पेट हो, इवेंट्स हो, व्हाटएवर, लाइक प्रमोशन, आई एंजॉय इट, आई डू गेट लिटिल एंग्शियस बिकॉज वाइज टू व्हाट टू वेयर, बट वो तो मेरा हमेशा से प्रॉब्लम रहा है, दैट डजंट स्टॉप मी फ्रॉम एंजॉयिंग, like styling myself and wearing my clothes. Yeah.
Lovely chatting with you. All the very best, and नए घर में मूव करने की बहुत बहुत बधाई आपको। तो आपको जब नेक्स्ट टाइम पर्सनली मिलूंगी तब आप मेरे को मिठाई खिलाना।
मिठाई कौन सी मिठाई खाएंगे आप?
जो भी ले आना आप।
ठीक है, मैं
one meal a day सुपर गुल्लू है,
दूधी का हलवा खिलाओ नहीं, ये तो रॉयस का चॉकलेट खिलाना, रॉयस का चॉकलेट, रॉयस नमा, the best chocolate in the world. Chalo, Royce, free publicity.
Free publicity and keep your word.
They don't need my publicity. They're already great. Yeah. Okay,
all
thanks.
The very
bye.
Well. Bye.
Bye, Pooja.
If you've liked this interview, please like, share and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram.